So hello and welcome once again back to Season 2 of the Key Model World TV show. We've got so much to come in the next hour.
And in future episodes as well. But this next hour will be great.
Use them on fast passenger trains and everything in between.
Hello and welcome back to the Key Model World TV show and Series 2. You join myself and Richard here in the Hornby Magazine workshop. And well, we've got a great show for you tonight, haven't we, Richard?
We have indeed. And first of all, we've got Pete Waterman's layout tour given to us by the man himself.
Indeed, it's got a fantastic tour. We filmed this a little while back. It's only ever been seen on our Key Model World TV channel. It's never been seen publicly before, so this is a great opportunity for you to see a big piece of footage from the Hornby Magazine team. Joining that, we've got a full and comprehensive review of Hornby's new 9F for double O gauge. Really super model in my book. We've got it running some nice big trains as well.
It'll be interesting to take a closer look and see our thoughts.
Yes, and not just one of them either. We've got 3 versions running on the layout as well, so you can see 3 different locos running too.
You can't test just one locomotive, can you?
No, so you can, but it's better when you've got 3. And then adding to that, we've got the latest news coverage as well. Mark's going to come and join us to catch us up on the latest model railway news. And finally, we have a new product announcement as well from Key Publishing as well, and we look forward to sharing all that with you as well.
I'm very excited. Freshly landed in the office today.
Absolutely. And just so you all know, if you want to keep up to date with all the latest news, don't forget to get our latest issue of Hornby Magazine or log into keymodelworld.com to find all that latest model railway news and features too. For now though, I think it's time we got on with the show.
Let's go and visit Pete Waterman.
Yes, Leamington Spa, here we come.
Tony's Trains of Rugby is located at Hillmorton Locks on the outskirts of Rugby. We are open Tuesday to Saturday 10 till 5 but closing early on Saturday at 4 o'clock. We stock Hornby Backman, Graham Farish, Pico, Gauge Master, Howjun, Oxford and Oxford Diecast, Acura Scale and more. We also have a large selection of second-hand models to suit all budgets. You can either visit us in store or reach me on 01788 543 442, visit our website tonystrainsofrugby.com or find us on Facebook.
I'm Pete Waterman and this is our Leamington Spa layout. So when we were looking at a project way back 17, 18 years ago, we wanted to do something different. And I grew up in Coventry, but did all my spotting in the early years in Leamington Spa. And the interesting thing about Leamington Spa, it was a cross-country station, which meant we had all regions come there. So you could see pretty well any sort of engine other than obviously the North of Scotland engines. It also was elevated right across the town centre, which meant that from a modelling perspective, you could never see all the locomotives at once because they would drop in behind buildings. And also at the time when we started, we had a couple of members who definitely didn't want to model GWR. So we needed a room where they could be in without seeing the GWR engines. So we worked out that if you look on the front, you've got a Great Western, on the back, you've got the LMS. Well, the LMS went from Rugby through a Leamington Spa Avenue to Coventry and Nuneaton. And of course, it was a classic railway stopping move. It was there to stop the Great Western getting into Coventry. So it was a line that was never going to make any money, but it prevented the Great Western getting into a very lucrative market, which was Coventry. So that was that route. So it gave us the opportunity of having Great Western and LMS and BR all mixed up together. And it allowed us to make a special room, which we'll show you in a bit, which was, none of the Western engines went through it. So at the end of the station, we got these two fantastic buildings, which are still there. Most of these buildings are still there to this day. This garage is different now. It's not like this. There was a garage that sold Triumph Heeleys and Spitfires. So as a kid, it was a very nice, a great interest to us. This was the Midland Red Bus Working Men's Club plus the Transport and General Workers offices. Then across the road you had a stonemason hotel. Now, in reality, we have taken about 12 foot of there should be 12 foot in here, but we've had to condense it. So this bridge should be literally down there. Then we've got the shops and the town centre, dairy. For all people, and everybody comments on this bridge is a nightmare. It's actually plasticard, made of plasticard and riveted. It's a massive, massive, massive undertaking. I actually built one for John Ryan for his layout, and I promise you I would never do another one. It's just too much work. So we come past the town centre, we come down to the other end, and down here we go into the shed and the canal with Clapham Terrace and the brewery. We've got some big trees, and the whole point about this layout is to give it height. You've got depth, but lots of height, because trees are bigger than because everything's in on that viaduct there. All the very famous pictures by Dick Blenkinsop. You can see the engines in between the houses. I mean, it's magic. This is our brew room, which is the most important room in the place, because this is where we do all the sorting. Boris Johnson should come in on a Sunday morning. We'll sort the government out. Then we go into the storage space. And the storage space is purely for storage. So all of the track work other than the storage is handmade. Once we come into the storage side, it's just pico and pico points. And it's kept very basic because it's there, obviously, for storage. Not many people see around here, actually. So we can store in here 6 Great Western trains, 2 trains that are coming over from the Fiddle sidings, and 8 LMS trains. They come all the way around here. And then we come through this layout, and then really the layout starts here. And this is Leamington's shed. Again, it's 4 feet shorter than it should be, but it's a big beast. The engines on the layout are nearly all prototypical. In other words, they are what you would have seen in the 50s, 60s at Leamington Spa. So the majority of engines are either based Wolverhampton, Tyseley, Banbury. You've obviously got some old Oak Common engines, but they're all pretty typical to the area. So there's not many engines that we see that you wouldn't have seen. I'm not sure that 60123 ever went to Leamington Spa, but it's one of my favourite engines, so it's there. And the one area we haven't tackled yet, although we've got it, we've not had time to put it, is over there is a turntable. We've got it, we just haven't finished it off. Then you come round the corner, again, these are interesting. People think they're signals. They're not signals. These are speed restrictions. And Leamington had a speed restriction of going into the platform was 25, through lines were 40 miles an hour. All the signals are interlocked. Interesting little point here. This signal box obviously has got a place for gun emplacements for the Second World War. These are actually for Bren guns.
Hi, I'm Alex Yates and this is TMC, the Model Centre at Beck Hole near Whitby. We're down at the new mailroom at TMC where we can ship your orders worldwide. Here at TMC we do many limited editions. We've got our 24.5 tonne mineral wagons that have just come into stock, and we've got our G5 that is due in summer next year, and we've got many other limited editions available on our website. Here at TMC we stock all major brands including Hornby and Bachmann, and we also have a large range of pre-owned models all available in store and on our website. We offer customisation services when you buy a model from us, such as reel coal, cab crew, DCC sound, DCC, and any little customisation features that you want on your models. We also offer a weathering service. When you buy a model off our website, we have tick box options so you can spec up the model as much or as little as you want. You can pre-order all future releases on our website with free postage over £50 and no deposit required. Whether you're a customer, old or new, visit us in person or visit our website, themodelcentre.com. We hope to see you soon.
You've got the canal, and then you come back up. And as we follow this up, in real terms, I don't know if you can see this actually, on the outside of the layout is the actual mileage. It's 105.5 miles from London. So as you go up the layout, I've sort of made sure that you sort of got the impression of what it really should be. So as we come up again, we come into the station area. This was a rockery and shrubbery. Again, the station is shortened. I know it looks big. The building is scale. The building is absolutely scale, but the platforms are about 8 feet too short, because otherwise it would just dominate the whole model. And Leamington Spa was the last Art Deco station, along with Cardiff. I'm proud to be its president. It's grade 1 listed. On the layout, we've got the original, all the doors are in sterling silver, as they would have been on the original station. The Leamington Spa on the top is the way that the station looked in the 50s. We toyed with whether to do the Great Western Writing, which was a roundel, but we didn't. We did the Leamington Spa, and this is, of course, there were 2 stations at Leamington Spa. This was always referred to by us as Leamington Spa General. The other station on the other side is Leamington Spa Avenue, which was a bus depot now. That drawing is a funny story. That building is absolutely scale. And I used to go to the Leamington and Warwick show every year. And there are no drawings at all at this station. And we were struggling, got lots of pictures, but no, because there's some lovely waiting rooms on that station. And we found it very difficult. And I'm at a show, and I'm showing some of these bits of buildings. And a young guy came up to me and said, my dad's just died. And he was modelling Leamington Spa. And I said, yeah, it was he? He said, yeah. He said he started in the 50s. I said, he said, yeah. He said, I got a big pile of drawings upstairs. He said he got for the project. He said he never did it, he never finished it. He said, do you want them? I said, yeah. He turned up with all of the linen printed drawings for the station from 1858. All of them, down to the lead flashing on the roofs. So the one building I know is absolutely spot on is that station, because we do have the original drawings when it was just, you know, meant to stop the Great Western. I haven't put the windows in yet. We're still, you know, still lots to do. Biggest mistake we made was it's too wide. So it's miles too wide. Can't get there. It is electrified, or it's going to be electrified, but actually the practicality of actually trying to use it is tough. I mean, if anything comes off, you're really struggling to get it on. Now then, one of the things we learned, and this is a tip, the biggest problem with making anything that's big, you've got to get the weight right. You've got to get the feel of the weight. And one of the problems I could never live with when we started this, it always bothered me up until about 4 years ago. The weight distribution of the buildings wasn't right. It just didn't look right. It wasn't balanced. And I realised the reason it wasn't balanced was because we had never built this goods shed. We put a small goods shed in, and it didn't work because the goods shed is massive, as you can see. Look, it's what, 5 foot long. But then you look at the station, and when you stand here now and you look back, everything's in proportion. Because you can't have a big station like Leamington Spa and a small goods shed. It wouldn't work. The station would be small. So if you're going to that length, and you can see what we had to do to get it in was to extend the layout on the board. So it's even wider now than it was before. But at least what we can do is, if there is a problem, we can actually, this does lift out and the legs do fold up, so we can actually drop this down to get back into the layout. We come around, and of course, in real terms, the railway actually went off to the right there to Coventry, Warwick, Coventry and Kenilworth. Well, it comes around left, and what it does is, you can see here, some trees hide the fact that it goes into a different room. And that's where all the people that don't like GWR go and play. So it comes around, sweeps around this corner. Then what we did, we built Hatton Bank, which is on the way to Birmingham. And in hindsight, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, we'd have actually been better off just building Hatton Bank and having lots of storage space. Because nearly everybody wants to stand in and watch the trains go by, and most people that take pictures of Hatton Bank. Because it, as you can see, it winds, it's interesting, it makes great photos. And you know, it's actually a lot more fun to operate than all the signals in Leamington Spa. Though it's great spectacular, I think I spend more time on the Hatton part of the layout than anything else. Made all the trees during lockdown, and I thought, you know, an A4 turned up and set fire to the bank. So I've reprimanded the driver. He's on a form. I just hadn't seen anybody who had tried to, you know, model burnt banks, and they were a feature of the railway, you know, in the 50s and 60s. So we set fire to this, and half the tree went as well. And a guy called Mike Wraithby did the painting at the back, which is just phenomenal. I mean, he's done quite a few layouts now. He said after this he'd never do another one, but he's done Copenhagen Fields and quite a few others. I mean, his painting is sensational, and I know people use, paint photographs these days, but this isn't real. It's not a photograph. The layout is a model, so therefore the painting in itself isn't real either, and that makes all part of what modelling's about. If you stick a picture on of the clouds, well, they're clouds. This is our impression of what clouds look like and what the weather looks like. This train here is interesting because I'm building these wagons, and what I do is I run my wagons in on this train. So this is a 9F on this, but the train is far bigger than a 9F could ever pull. And we've got some interesting vehicles because they're just about to start building the M1 motorway. So I've got some scrapers and diggers on there off to that. So now we have to go under into a different layout. This is another layout. So this is completely isolated from Leamington and Hatton Bank, and it's totally operated from the signal box and the signal box behind me. This is Brinklow on the West Coast Main Line. This part of the layout is pretty well scale. I grew up here as well. This has sort of taken a back seat to Leamington. It's not had the love and attention that we've put on the rest of the layout, but we are starting to actually put some more work in. And once we finish the Chester Cathedral layout, we are going to rip out some of what we've done on this and make it more prototypical. There's too many compromises on this side, not on the track itself, but on the bank side, because it should all be like this. It shouldn't be. There should be no risen bank on this side. It's all up on the bank. So interesting signals here. They're really interesting signals. There's some signals that we don't even know of. We can't work out what they are. Even the BR drivers, we can't work them out. We've got some interesting telegraph poles. I'm nuts about telegraph poles because, again, it gives you the extra height. I don't see enough people model the two pole, but we've done that. Right. So then we turn around here, and this is our big deal. This is our storage sidings. And you can see here in the baseboard here, there's a hole. Okay, so that's a hole there. And what we do is we take this up like that. See, it won't go anywhere. I did that deliberate. And it fits in there like that. You lift the end like that. And this one's the wrong way around, but that will come on there, like that. And then we move that out and we can form the trains there. And then so you can see there's 3 cassettes to this train, which is minerals. Then you've got a Pullman tray behind, and you've got some bits and pieces. But what you can see here is these are all trains that literally we can put out and run. So we can actually run now 63, I think it is, totally separate trains without changing an engine. Got lots of engines we can trip change. We've got more vans up here. So we literally just run them, then change them over, and out they go. And you can see there's sensors on all these to tell us in the other room where the engines are. The underground comes up, allows us to bring Great Western engines round the layout without taking them through Leamington Spa Avenue, because they wouldn't go through Avenue. We've got lots of small trains here, where I know people think that everything we've got is big trains, but we have some small trains here. And as I say, this just goes up here, like that, and that's stored. And then that takes you back out round there, and everything is worked from this panel, which you have to switch in. So this panel it's a signal box, but once this is switched in, you can't operate round this part of the room from in the main room where you saw the brew room. You have to stand here and you operate everything from here. And well, that's Leamington, Brinklow and Hatton.
Smith, and I'm the owner of Smith's Model Railways. Based in Sheringham in Norfolk, just on the main high street, really close to the Norfolk Railway. So we stock from N gauge to O gauge, brands like Pico, Graham Farish, Hornby, Backman. Just launched our new loyalty card just after lockdown when we reopened. So we also offer these gift vouchers. You can either contact us via our telephone, email, or with our contact form on our website.
So, Leamington Spa, there's been lots of talk about making tracks 3 and 2 and 1, but it's nice to go back to the original and see Leamington Spa.
Yeah, amazing layout. And every time I look at it, I want to go and build a new layout. I just want to go and emulate that kind of quality and content of model railway. I love the operational value in it. I love the different routes you can take around the layout as well. Love the stock, love the buildings. Just it's immense. It's everyone's kind of dream kind of scenario to build something like that.
And it's really difficult to get a sense of the size. And you've got to keep telling yourself it is O gauge that you're looking at with the full length trains and the full station, and it's incredible. Yeah,
incredible indeed. And the fact you actually got a double station there as well, because you've got the Leamington Spa both for the Western region and for the Midland region model as well.
Any excuse for him to buy more stock, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, brilliant layout. Really great to go and see it firsthand as well. And we hope you would have enjoyed that film as well, seeing what Pete and his crew have built there.
And of course, we're going to be spoilt, Pete Waterman, because we'll be following Making Tracks 3 through the year.
That's right, yes. Obviously, we've followed closely with Making Tracks 1 and Making Tracks 2 as well, and both those layouts came to the Great Electric Train shows as well. And as you rightly say, we're following Making Tracks 3 as well, and that fantastic new model of Milton Keynes will be coming to Milton Keynes as well in October for the 2023 Great Electric Train show as well, so keep your eyes out for more details on that too. And if you're local to the Chester area, you might want to keep an eye out for Making Tracks 3 in Chester as well.
And seeing as we're dipping into news, I think it's time we got on with the latest model railway news.
And welcome to the news, and we've got some exciting products to talk about this week.
There's lots of new things.
There certainly are. So we'll start off with Hornby. They've got their first CAD drawing renders now available for a really special set of coaches, haven't they?
They have the coronation coaches, which do look superb, especially the Beavertail Saloon, with just, those curves just...
Yeah, beautiful coaches,
fantastic,
aren't they? And by looks of it as well, we've got close couplings on them as well. We've got the proper articulated bogies as well between the paired coaches as well. So remember, these are articulated vehicles as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the engineering samples for those, and then ultimately in full colour as well.
Yes, they had 3D printed versions at the Great Electric Train Show. If you were along at the show, you might have just gotten a glimpse of them in the display cabinet on their stand at Getz, but yes, the CAD renders have been shared of the latest position of them. They really do look nice.
Indeed. So moving on to a different subject, we've got quite a few new announcements of limited editions from Kerno Model Rail Centre and across different scales as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think a really exciting one from a personal perspective is the Class 159 from Bachmann, which they are doing a special exclusive edition in Southwestern Railway colours in the blue and grey.
It does look very smart.
It does,
very smart indeed. So that's the full 3-car pack as well.
Full 3-car pack,
both available DC ready and DCC sound fitted as well. That's been joined by a couple of Engage announcements as well. So first from Graham and Farish, they've got a model of the Golden Ochre Class 31 D5579, that unique livery, which is looking rather smart in Engage. Plus they've also commissioned 2 versions of the Class 59 Revolution train as well. So we've got one in MRL green and orange.
That's it.
And we've got one in ARC, the later ARC.
It was the later one, so it's got the sort of mustardy colour for sort of 2/3 of the body side, and then it's sort of silver, just sort of representing, I think, that sort of transition period.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's always those kind of metallic colours rather than the flat colours of the originals. I mean, to be fair, 59s wise, I prefer the original one. It's a 59, so it's still exciting.
Yeah, it's still a 59. Looks great.
And then we've got a couple of other product updates from them as well. They've also got the steam rail motor now. That's now in production, and exciting options on it now. It's going to do DCC sound fitted versions from the factory for that as well. Plus they've also announced a version of 37401 with Bachmann as an exclusive model for Kerno, as 37401 in Royal Scotsman livery as well. Which
goes together with the rest of the Scottish exclusives that they've thrown into the equation as well. So there are 2 other locomotives. There's a 370, which is Loch Rannoch 37012, plus there's another Class 374 as well, which is An Commune Gaia Halak.
I'd rather you than me saying that.
Yeah.
So,
Apologies for the pronunciation on that one.
so it's quite a roundup of new exclusive products there for Colonel Model Rail Centre. We've also got 2 big new announcements from Accurate Scale as well, haven't we?
We have, absolutely.
So, yeah, we start off with a wagon announcement, which is a whole collection of North Eastern Railway 20-tonne hoppers, going right through from the very early days and different body types, different underframes. We've got a full video launch for that available you can watch on keymodeloil.com. And something that has just been released this Wednesday, which is even more exciting.
Absolutely. The Class 50 diesel, which, again, superb locomotive. And I think that's going to prove rather popular in various liveries, all the way through from the early London Midland days right the way through to the final days. And indeed, current online, mainline preserved, if you like, conditions that they run in.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that, especially now having gone over the Class 92 in detail, and particularly, I think the 92 looks fantastic on the outside, but actually the internals on this as well are really special and really quite exciting, so I'm really keen to see what they can do with the Class 50.
Yeah, the specification certainly looks impressive.
Yeah, and that Class 50 sound, I'm looking forward to that, the classic thumping Class 50 sound.
Looking forward to those as well, absolutely superb.
Indeed. And there's another big piece of news we need to talk about as well, and that is that this weekend, if you're watching this on November the 25th, this weekend is the Worthy National Model Railway Exhibition that takes place on November 26th and 27th at the NEC in Birmingham. This is the return of the Worley Show for the first time in 3 years. This is Britain's biggest model railway event there is, and I can't wait to get back to it.
No, absolutely. I mean, where did those 3 years go?
Yes,
I mean,
like a flash,
it's just flown by. But yes, really looking forward to getting back to the show. And as a result of this show, I think it's going to be rather special with lots of announcements.
There really are a lot of announcements. So, important information now. Are you ready? Pens at the ready. So, the place to go for all the latest announcements from the Worley Model Railway Show is keymodeloil.com. We've got all the latest news releases already lined up to go live on the site, ready for the weekend, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all the latest happenings as they happen. And, we're also looking forward to seeing as many of the Hornby Magazine readers and Key Model World viewers as possible there as well.
Absolutely, it'd be great to see you. If you're coming to the show on the Saturday or the Sunday, please come and seek us out. We'll be on the Hornby Magazine stand. We've got layouts on display, and also two layouts. Absolutely, 2 layouts, 009 and 00. And we've also got something rather special at the show.
We have indeed, which we'll tell you about shortly in this video.
I'm Anthony of AGR Model Railway Store in Leighton Buzzard, Bedfordshire. We stock the whole ranges for N, O, and O, all the major brands, for DC modelers and DCC modelers. We have a full DCC sound install, which can include sound, smoke and lights. We offer a range of Pico 009 exclusives, and we are also UK's biggest importer of Batman USA Thomas and Friends models. Got great links to the M1. We have mail order, which you can order through the website www.agrmodelrailwaystore.co.uk. We're actually just off the Leighton Buzzard High Street. We're in High St Mews, so if you look for Costa Coffee, directly opposite, you can see us and the sign.
So, as ever, Mike, lots going on within the model railway scene.
Yes, there's always a lot going on. So,
how do we keep up?
we have an army of minions for that. So.
Right, and to put a microscope over one particular release, I think it's time we took a closer look at Hornby's biggest steam release of the autumn of this year. Hello and welcome once again to the Hornby Magazine workshop. Today you join myself and Mike here on the great central theme layout with something rather fitting because we have Hornby's brand new 00 gauge 9F. Hornby's latest steam engine.
And what a steam engine. It's the BR9F, which is, I think these rate as one of my many favourite steam locos.
It's a beastie.
It certainly is. And, well, it's not the first version we've seen of the 9F made for 00 gauge. In fact, actually, the very first version was made by Hornby in 1971. And then it is now 51 years later from Hornby, we've got a brand new version. All new mechanism, all new body tooling, all new tenders, everything new. Love it.
Which is exciting. But before we go into too much detail, can you tell us about the real steam engine?
Yeah, so the 9F was part of the BR standard steam locomotive fleet. So following British Railways ownership of the railways, they decided to build their own fleet of steam locomotives, which was 999 locomotives, of which 251 were BR9Fs, and they were the biggest of the classes that they built for the British Railway standard locomotives. They were built at both Crewe and Swindon Works, and actually Evening Star, the BR lime green loco at the front here, that was the very last steam locomotive built for British Railways in March 1960.
And of course you can see that in the National Rail Museum in York.
That's right, yeah.
Currently,
yeah. These were, like I said, the most powerful locomotives. They were designed really for heavy freight to start with, but actually they found that these locos are quite quick as well. And they were used quite regularly on passenger turns as well, both for excursion traffic and also quite famously over the Somerset and Dorset on the things like the Pines Express as well. So it makes them a very versatile locomotive from a modeller's perspective. So we could use them on big heavy goods trains, use them on fast passenger trains and everything in between.
So presumably a steam locomotive with such presence, I mean, they're massive. Hornby must have had quite the challenge turning it into a 00 gauge model.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, especially to do it to the level of detail they have. And interesting, actually talking to Hornby, actually they've gone to great lengths to make sure even like the chassis and the wheel spacing is correct as well for the 9Fs, which from what I understand has not been done before. So Hornby's worked really hard on making this what it is. And actually, well, I think these are fantastic models. They've got so much going for them in terms of the detail, massively powerful motor in them as well. Got an upgrade to a 21-pin decoder socket in the tender as well. Firebox glow, we've got extra accessories in the pack as well, which you haven't seen before. So lots of new things with the 9F as well.
So in terms of running characteristics, presumably, I mean, even though they're big models, they still have to cope with second radius curves, short radius point work, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's right. So they're designed to work on a minimum of second radius curves for 00 gauge, so I think it's 438 millimetre radius. And partly what helps with that is modelling the real locomotives correctly means they've also got flangeless centre driving wheels, which is a real thing on the real locomotives, and that was done to help the locomotives be able to go around curves. Hornby's mimicked that on these models as well, and they've also got a little bit of flex obviously in the coupling rods as well to allow them to have that flexibility. We've had them run around second radius curves on this layout without any issue whatsoever. So,
and of course haulage capacity. These things were in real life designed to haul massive weights of trains behind them. How does it suit with the model?
Very well. We had 50 wagons going round on the layout behind one of these 9Fs, and it didn't bat an eyelid. I actually had more problems with a bit of pressure in the middle of the train with it pulling a wagon off the track than I did with the loco hauling it. There's plenty of capacity to spare. I reckon we could go on 60, 70 wagons behind one of these quite comfortably.
I'd say, but we started to reach the other end of the train, didn't we? That's...
yeah. This layout's not that big in the grand scheme of things.
So obviously Hornby's already done this model and other manufacturers have done it as well. What are some of the main aspects that they've changed to bring this back into the forefront?
Well, apart from everything. So like I said, this is a complete ground-up, brand new model. So anything you've seen before from the Hornby 9F is completely gone. It's got no relevance to the Crosty 9F they did as a railroad model a few years ago. This is entirely new. So the chassis is new, the motor and mechanism is completely new as well. It's actually got a twin flywheel 5-pole motor inside the boiler as well, a nice big motor in there as well. It's got drive then to the locomotive wheels. All the physical details are new as well. You've got sprung buffers at both ends of the locomotive. You've got all the separate pipe work on it as well. And actually it goes even further than that, because actually this tooling suite is really comprehensive across the different 9Fs as well. So for example, you look at 92194 and 92167, put them next to each other, and each locomotive's got little detail differences to make it stand out from one another. Things, tiny things, some of them, like the way the front step is in front of the smoke box door is different on those two locos. If you compare then the two black ones with Evening Star's got correct Western region pattern lamp brackets on it, whereas these have got standard BR ones on it. And it goes on. It's like the first time ever we've got a mechanical Stoker tender. The BR1K tender's been made to go with only 92165 to 92167. So 3 locos had the BR1K, but it's been done. We've also got the BR1F tender. We've got the BR1G behind Evening Star as well. And they've also done 2 other tender types as well for the future as well. So this isn't everything we can get from the Hornby 9F yet either.
So it's quite the suite of tooling really from Hornby.
It certainly is, yeah. And also probably worth mentioning actually is these 3 on the layout today are all double chimney locos, but there are single chimney 9Fs as well. So Hornby's brand new flagship steam locomotive. The important questions, price and availability. Right, so price is £252.99 for each one of these models DCC ready. And they're actually all 3 are now available from Hornby itself and its stockists as well.
And of course, they're also 21 pin now.
That's right, yeah. Got 21 pin decoder in the tender, and they've also got the firebox glow in them as well, and the space for a sugar cube speaker with a new Hornby designed enclosure in there as well. So it'd be interesting to put this through its paces with a sound installation as well.
With a pending sound installation.
Pending sound installation, indeed. Now, what I plan to do with that is show both how it could be done just with the way Hornby set it up, and also I've got, naturally, a few other ideas about how I might set this up as well.
Well, there's a lot of space to have a play.
There is, yeah. There's some lovely good spaces in there, so I'll be using them.
Here at Rails of Sheffield, we pride ourselves in being the leading model railway retailer in the UK. We stock all gauges from Z up to 3.5 inch gauge, including the very popular N gauge, OO and O gauge. Our customers can also benefit from having their models professionally custom weathered. Also available are our exclusive award-winning models. We also cater for those looking for extra value, with over 200 pre-owned items always in stock ready to take away. So come on down to Rails of Sheffield and see our new showroom. You can find us at 21 to 29 Chesterfield Road, Sheffield, S80RL. You can contact us on 0114 255 1436 and also visit us at railsofsheffield.com.
So Mike, we've gone from a very quiet office to a very busy event centre.
We certainly have, yes. It's been a busy weekend here at the Spalding Model Railway Exhibition, and we brought, a lot of the people will recognise me with a different twist to me.
Well, it's West Coast cement, but I twisted your arm, and it's now East Coast cement.
it's about time we did something different as well.
And it's nice that it's been a no budget spared changeover.
Well, we thought we'd maximise the
With some
impact.
marker pen.
Yeah. We did forget to make new signage in the rush to get here with the layout. So we did. We found an easy way to change that from being East Coast to West Coast.
It works.
Certainly does.
And of course, we've been joined by some guests who are running our layout.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we always have a few people helping us out running the layouts. This weekend we've got John Gay from Digitrains with us. We've also got Neil from the Little Layout Company. And also Mark David's with us here as well. Makes up all the team to keep the layout running.
Well, it means we can all play trains, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's nice to be able to play trains with the people who help us put the magazine together every month.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And I think that's one of the good things about these shows for us. It's not just about being here, obviously it is about being here for the magazine, but it's also the opportunity to play trains as well, which we don't always get the time to do. So.
It's the excuse we use.
Exactly. So I know you play trains all the time. I don't.
Absolutely. You liar. So, East Coast Main Line. We've got some stock. We don't normally see East Coast Main Line stock.
We don't know, and we instead of just doing it the easy way and just going, we'll just do one period of East Coast, we decided to do 2 different periods of East Coast stock on 2 days as well.
That was a clever idea, wasn't it?
It wasn't until this morning on Sunday, but it was quite an intense morning getting everything changed over to change from early privatisation to current privatisation.
So we started on Saturday with the 90s based stock.
In the early 2000s, because we had a GNR running, GNR HT and 91 running as well.
Any excuse?
Absolutely.
What else did we have on top of the 91?
So we had a whole period collection of locomotives and rolling stock. So, for example, we had like ballast trains formed with sea cows, sharp ballast ploughs. We had some PFA trains, we had MEA trains, we had some of the last HAA formed coal trains running as well. And we had all the appropriate locations as well. So we had lots of 37s, which is a good job that I was here for those. 56s, 58s, 60s in early deliveries, and a couple of the early class 66 deliveries as well.
Very nice selection of traction, really.
Yeah, really quite colourful as well.
But it's nice that we've they're all sound fitted, and we filled the hall with thrashing and all that. It's very nice.
Yes. Yeah, great fun with the 37s.
And then, of course, we roll on to Sunday, and we've got more My Era, current East Coast Main Line stuff.
Again, equally colourful, but slightly different motor. So, more 66s. The 91s are all in the latest livery. We've got the HSTs in their final LNER colours as well. And we've got a cross-country HST set running as well, and we've got one of the Azumas running too. So that passenger trains has all kind of moved on by 10 years at that point. So.
It's interesting, even just between those two eras, which are relatively close together, how much traction has changed.
Definitely, and actually, it's interesting actually how much it's kind of almost gone around in a bit of a circle. So we went to a point where actually, particularly with the freight side of things, where the 66 was the dominant motor car. All 60s seemed to get turned away, 56s disappeared, 37s disappeared. And over the last couple of years in particular, there's been quite a resurgence of that kind of difference of traction starting to turn up on the railway again. So on the layout today, we've got 37s running, we've got GBF class 50s as well, which are mainline registered and regulars in the mainline. And we've got 66s in a multitude of different liveries as well, which actually one of the quite nice things about 66s now is they always seem to be a different colour. And we've also got, we could have a 56 running, but I haven't got a DCR one yet. So,
Yet being the optimum word.
So I did see one of someone else's layout. That'd be a nice project.
Go and borrow it.
Yeah. So, but it's nice to see that kind of different type of motor power now starting to run alongside the commonplace stuff.
And I suppose, as a bit more of a general comment, it's nice to see shows definitely back up and running again.
Yes, absolutely. I think it is really nice to see events running. We had a great time at the Great Electric Train Show a few weeks before the Spalding Show we're at now. So obviously we're at Spalding today, and then in a couple of weeks' time we're at the Warwickshire Show as well. So it's show season is in full swing again. Lots of shows are coming back for the first time since 2019 as well. I mean, it's the Spalding Show's first time since 2019. Same for Warley at the end of November as well. It's their first show since 2019. It's great to see people, chat to people, catch up on all those conversations we had with other people in the past as well.
So, Mike, most people who recognise West Coast Cement formally will know you normally use the Railmaster software on a giant PC with a giant PC screen, and you can see all the track layout. We've not got that today.
No, we had a bit of a failure on Friday. My computer that is kept purely for running this layout packed up. It no longer works. So it's a bit of a kind of like, right, we now need to come up with plans B, C and D as to how we're going to run the layout this weekend. And one of the things I found actually was that it ended up being the simplest way to fix it. And actually it's been a really efficient way of running the layout this weekend. is to change over to route setting on the Gauge Master Prodigy. So now everything, points and trains, is all controlled by the Prodigy. But instead of now having to go individual changes for points through like setting all these loops and storage yard, it's a single button press, having set it up on the route programming side of the control.
Which of course is as simple as the computer was.
Actually, I think it's simpler than the computer. Actually, I think to me, it's been easier to run it with the macro route setting on the Prodigy than it has by holding a handset and then going over to the computer and clicking buttons. And actually, it's been more reliable as well. We had to have some communication problems occasionally between, of course, we're going through so many devices to get to a point. You're going from a computer to a Hornby Elite through to the DCC network, and that chain wasn't always perfect. And occasionally you go and change a point and find that actually when you went to drive a train it hadn't changed.
It was slightly nerve-wracking when you've got a 91 running at full pelt around the layout, and you're just thinking, I hope the point at the other end has changed.
That's right. Yeah.
Otherwise, it meets the back of another train.
Exactly, it's got a big smash. So, I think that's the other advantage of doing it with the route setting as well, is it changes both ends of the route at the same time. So it's a bit more control for the operator, I suppose. That actually, it's a bit of discipline that you have to set your whole route and know that you're going to go all the way around back into that route. And if you are going to change routes with the train, you've got to think about it before you do it.
But no, like you say, it's been working fine, to be fair.
Yeah.
And of course, because there's so many of us operating the layout, we've got the cement works working today.
We have, yeah, we've been having fun with the cement works. Actually, did I play the cement works? I can't remember. I may have done. It's been a long weekend, busy weekend.
I know I've had a go on everything, but that's not unusual.
And we've got something quite special in the cement works as well, haven't we?
With the Roco crane.
Yes, yeah, that's a fantastic piece to get that. So if you haven't seen our video about the Roco crane, you really should check it out. Yeah. This is a fully working DCC controlled crane which will lift stuff itself.
I did watch Mark earlier derail a train and then try and, without touching the wagon, put it back on the track, which just shows you how much fun you can have with these things.
Absolutely. I thought we were going to lose Mark all day to just shuffling the crane around in the yard, to be honest. He was having a great time there.
I noticed you've taken it off again. Is that because of Mark? You wanted Mark back?
Make sure he drives other trains, yeah.
But no, I mean, it's just different and it's nice to see.
Yeah, and it's really interactive as well. Actually, I did notice that when it was being used as well, actually people were really quite taken in with it as well.
I don't think people expect it.
No, it's something very different, especially for the British market.
I suppose people expect sounds now, quite common. Some may expect steam, but then to have a model which does exactly what it would do in the real world just shows the possibilities.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, it's big possibilities as well and impressive capabilities as well. The fact you can actually lift a whole loco, we will take that weight of lifting a loco, that's really impressive.
We just need to lean on Bachmann now to get their Ransom and Rapier crane motorised for the future.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Certainly would. It's next level kind of stuff.
But I digress.
Indeed. But anyway, I did mention the video we've already done about the Kiro crane, but that was in our November 2022 issue. 2022, we are still like
we are there, yeah.
In our November 2022 issue, we had a supplement of our digital control in there, and we did a full feature on the Roco Kiro crane in there. And you can also watch the full video online at keyboardworld.com, which you'll find a link for in the description below.
And of course, for those at home who'd like to see a full tour of West Coast Cement in detail with Mike and Mark, they have filmed a very nice tour of this layout, which is on keymodelworld.com.
It is indeed. That's from Basingstoke show in March 2020.
Which I will link just underneath the video. It's well worth checking out. It's a full hour of West Coast Cement.
It's a lot of West Coast.
It's a shame they're the wrong sort of trains, but you know.
I'd argue they're the right kind of trains, but it's
I'm Jack, and welcome to Hattons Model Railways in Widnes. Here at Hattons, we stock over 13,000 different product lines, and we also have a huge range of pre-owned items ranging from everything from UK outline, USA outline, Japan. You can also sign up to daily notifications, so whenever we add new pre-owned stock, you can go straight to the website and get first dibs on those too. We also offer a trunk service here at Hattons that enables you to purchase items and make sure you've secured them. We'll keep them here safely for you, and you can even combine them with other orders and have them all shipped out together. That even enables you to save on postage costs, and it's great for overseas customers as well. So we're here in our curbside pickup lockers, so anyone who is local to Hattons, you can have your order placed online or over the phone and have it placed in one of our lockers as you see here. Truly easy to just come and collect your key, pick it up any time of day, 24/7, you can come and pick up your order. Our customer experience team is available from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. 7 days a week UK time. You can place orders, query anything, and you can also speak to our product expert team who are available to give you expert full-on guidance with our entire product range. They can get in touch via email, social media, live chat, or phone.
So, moving on. As you know, Hornby Magazine in particular are very keen on product announcements, and what better than to announce our own new model.
Indeed.
That's arrived in the office today.
That's right, so we've got a brand new production run of the diesel brake tenders, and we're going to tell you all about them right now.
It has been 3 years since we last brought you the humble brake tender. They're back.
They are back. This is our third production run of the diesel brake tender model. Each one we've done so far has been very popular. They're sold out very quickly. I'm really pleased to be able to come back with the third batch, all of which have got new identities on them, and for the first time we're doing a weathered edition as well.
So for those who know what a brake tender is, they'll be already clicking the link to buy one. But for everyone else, what is a humble brake tender?
Okay, so the brake tenders were introduced in the early diesel period. Basically, they were used with freight trains because the diesel locomotives were quite light by comparison to the steam locomotives they were replacing. So, for example, a 25 could haul a similar weight train to something like a Black 5 or an 8F, but a Black 5 or an 8F is about 120 tonnes. A Class 25 is considerably less than that and doesn't have the same amount of brake force. So what they found was that actually the freight trains were pushing the locomotives along the railway as they're trying to come to a stop, which meant they didn't have enough brake force to stop an unbraked train. So what they did is introduce these brake tenders, which are literally what they sound like. They're a extra vehicle which has got brakes on them, so it increased the brake force available with the locomotive. They were heavyweight items, about 30 tonnes for the brake tenders, and they meant that now that a diesel locomotive could bring a freight train, an unbraked freight train, so with the classic unbraked freight stock of the period, bring it safely to a controlled stop. In some cases, you'd find a locomotive with two brake tenders, one either end of the locomotive as well.
And of course, previously we've had the BR Blue version. That must mean they've been around for a bit to be green and blue.
Yeah, so they were introduced in about 1964, and they ran right into the, I think, the late 1970s when the last were drawn. They were originally very well associated with the North East and the Midlands coalfields as well, but in later life, the final examples tend to run around the Acton area from West London. They're often seen with hydraulics down that area as well, but also some of the blue ones were seen with Class 37s in the North East as well.
And can you see one today?
You can see one today, yes. So the Great Central Railways Railway Vehicle Preservation Group, they built a replica diesel brake tender. They followed one of the patterns for them, which was to use a redundant coach underframe, chop it in half, weld it back together again, and then built a custom body to represent the brake tender on top of it as well. And that does run occasionally at diesel galas and events at the Great Central Railway, where you can see it being propelled as it would have been in the 1960s at the front of something like a wind-cut mineral train.
So for those wondering, the real footage we have of brake tenders is actually the version that's at the GCR?
It is, that's right, yeah, because unfortunately none of the real vehicles were ever preserved. They were all scrapped at the end of their useful life, and a lot of them, there's quite a few different versions of brake tenders. We've done just one version, which was the lots built at York in 1964, which run on Greathley pattern bogies, but there were also versions that ran on LMS pattern bogies of a similar kind of body style, but they had a slightly lower body profile to them. And there's also an Eastern region version as well, which was a completely different shape as well, which had a much more square box-like shape as well. We have done a feature on building one of those in the past issue of Hornby Magazine, so they'll read on keymodelworld.com as well.
And I'll of course put a link down below in the description of this video. So normally we would come to this point of a video and we would review a model.
It's amazing. That's all you need to know.
Exactly. So that's a pointless question. So what I'm going to say is, what do people get in the box?
Right, so in your box you get a single diesel brake tender model in the box. Each one has got a unique identity, so the numbers on these vehicles are different to anything we've done in the past. We've done 3 different versions. They've all got static buffers. They've got NEM coupling pockets. They have different hand wheel styles. So there's a couple of them have got 5-wheel hand wheels, another one's got 3-arm hand wheel. They have lamps at each end of them, where you can unplug those. So those just plug into the lamp bracket, so you can take lamps off and change the lamp code on the brake tenders as well, which is quite a nice little feature. They've also got separately fitted wire handrails to them and also turn metal wheels as well, just to finish things off there.
So the 3 versions which are available as soon as you see this video, what are they?
Right, so the 3 versions are, we've got B964040E, which is in original condition with plain green ends, and with the diesel brake tender legend in the centre of the wagon. We've then got B964066E, which is the first time we've done this combination of a livery, which is the early pattern BR green style livery of the previous one I just mentioned, but with small yellow warning panels on it. And then the final version we've got is B964113, which is the later pattern lettering on the body side, so you've got more lettering on the centre of it, but it's also got a weathered finish as well.
Which is a nice touch. Isn't it the first time you've weathered a green one?
It is, yeah. It's the first time I've ever done a weathered version on the diesel brake tender. I should add as well that there's only 500 of each of these versions have been produced, and whenever we produce a running number, we never produce that running number again. So if you do another batch of brake tenders in the future, you'll never buy the same running numbers again.
And of course, we're outnumbering the weathered version with unweathered versions, which brings us handily to the 4th brake tender on the layout.
Yeah, so the 4th one of the layout is a custom weathered version, which has been done by Tim Cooper, which has been done for a feature in the latest issue of Hornby Magazine. And there he's explained his techniques for how he's added custom weathering to his brake tender model. And, well, if you're going to buy one of the pristine ones, or even if you buy the weathered one, you might want to add your own custom touches to it. But there's a full modelling guide in the latest issue, in our January 2023 issue, which explains the whole process that Tim went through in order to give that a real custom weathered finish to it as well. So perhaps you fancy making your own version weathered, we've got the step-by-step guide for you as well.
And of course, even if you don't fancy weathering a brake tender, some of the hints and tricks within that feature are great to use on any rolling stock, really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, some great tips in there as well.
So for anyone at home, Mike, who is thinking about adding one, what did they run with, and what does it give you an excuse to buy as a hobbyist?
Well, it gives you an excuse to buy lots of things, because I actually worked with quite a lot of different green era diesels. So in terms of, we've got 3 examples on the layout today. They're quite commonly seen with the Salter Type 2s. That's like Class 24s and Class 25s. So very common in the northeast with those. They're also seen with the Class 17s as well, the centre cab Bobo diesels. Class 37s in centre and split head code form both worked with diesel brake tenders. Also some quite big logos as well. So the Class 44 One Coco ones from the Totem Coalfields, they work with brake tenders, and quite interesting seeing pictures of Class 40s with them as well. So you've got quite a wide range of locomotive types you can run with a brake tender.
You think, especially the last 2, they would be heavy enough to be able to cope without them, but
yeah,
obviously not.
Yeah, but it's also the brake force available from the locomotive. If it didn't have enough brake force available, you put a whole load of unbraked wagons behind it, which you had to try and slow down and stop with a controlled effort. They just needed that extra brake force to be able to do it.
So in terms of availability and price, obviously they're physically here. This is from the shipment, which is downstairs in our warehouse.
Yes.
So they're here, they're available.
They're here, they're in the warehouse. I've just been down, I've seen them all on the shelves, and there's a lot of them.
How much are they?
Right, so they're £36.99 each for the pristine versions and £38.99 each for the weathered version. And we have got, like I said earlier, we've got 500 of each of those in stock right now as we talk, but they are on sale from November 25th, and they will be on sale at the Hornby Magazine stand at the Warwickshire National Model Railway Exhibition on November 26th and 27th. Or you can order for delivery direct to your door from shop.keypublishing.com, and our happy warehouse team will pop one in a box, send it off in the post to you, and get it to you as quick as the Royal Mail with the flowers do.
While stocks last.
While stocks last, indeed.
It's one of them
Important
products.
comment, while stocks last. From previous experience of these, they do tend to sell quite quickly.
And they make excellent stocking fillers.
They do make excellent stocking fillers, yeah. And they make excellent stock for your layout, for your green diesels.
And of course, don't forget you can catch up with Tim Cooper's weathering guide in the latest issue of Hornby Magazine. That's HM 187.
Well, there's only one more thing to do now, and that's when he's going to get some coal wagons out and make up some proper trains to run with these brake tenders.
There's a lot of wagons.
It certainly is.
So after all that, I just hope there's some left for sale at Worley.
Well, I'm sure there will be. So they're officially on sale from November the 25th from the Key Publishing shop. So that's shop.keypublishing.com. Or if you're heading to the Warwickshire National Model Railway Exhibition, we will have all 3 versions of the brake tender for sale while stocks last. I must add in that caveat from our stand this weekend. That's Warwickshire on November 26th and 27th. And I hope everyone enjoys them as much as we enjoyed creating this new batch.
And of course, as ever, I'll put links for to our shop down below.
Well, that brings us to the end of the return of the Key Model World TV show.
I can't believe it's over already.
So it went quick, didn't it? Should we do another one next month?
I think we should.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be back next month with more great content for you. And in the meantime, don't forget to keep an eye on keymodelworld.com for the latest model railway news, reviews and features, and also our latest issue as well, the latest issue of Hornby Magazine, which will be on sale from December the 1st as well. And that is packed to the rafters once more with a 172-page magazine plus a 32-page supplement as well, and some brilliant models which you may have noticed on the desk in front of us here today.
And this is why people think we only play with trains for a living.
You might do that, but I've got real work to do. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.